What is up, guys? Adam here from Rev Airsoft page. I got Ivan here.
Yo.
And we're gonna talk about the Jag Arms X Army Armament Pit Viper. So this replica has been out for a while. Actually, this is not more of a this is not a review. This is more of a long-term usage, and from our standpoint, being a high kappa user.
So fun fact is, we were actually one of the first ones to get here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Right? The newer versions would have that Philippine logo.
This one is the, I think, international variant, but
Yeah.
this is the premium, which has the
Steel part,
internals,
CNC slide, and whatnot.
which we're gonna go over in this video. So again, there's the Taran Tactical Innovations Pit Viper, or commonly known the John Wick 4 pistol. Again, since this is a Jag Arms product, it's also licensed. So as you can see here on the side, TTI, Jag Precision, and Army Armament. So again, we're not so sure what's the difference between this and the ones being locally sold right now with the
logo,
with the Philippine flag. So we're not so sure.
So disclaimer, right? This was bought from 6mm PH as well with our own money. So Adam has one, I have one. Unfortunately, the only unit we have here is Adam's. Mine is in the workshop, but we'll talk about it later.
We're gonna talk about it. Why is it in the workshop?
Yeah.
So let's unbox this. So again, this is not like a beginner's review. It's a more of a longevity or a longer review or a longer insight while using the Pit Viper platform. So again, you get the manual again,
but it's the wrong manual. That's my first. Manual. That's my first. When I saw this, right? Combat Master.
This is the Combat Master.
The John Wick 3, right?
Yeah, the one with the island barrel version. So I don't know why that happened with Jag Arms and Army Armament. Maybe they're
similar.
Yeah, definitely. Right. But how I wish they had the correct image. But basically, it's the same. So yun lang naman yun. Nothing much to it. It's the same. It's a 2011. So
it's 2011.
It's
a high kappa, right?
Nothing much has been changed. So you get like a diagram, how to use it. So better to read that. You get your replica mag, silica gels. Do not eat this, please. And out of the box, that's it. Actually, I was surprised when we got this. There's no cleaning rod.
Was there none?
Nah, there was no cleaning rod included.
Yeah, I don't have the cleaning rod.
So
it's not under the box.
Slight gripe, but okay.
But you don't want to use those cleaning rods
anyway. So yeah. First of all, we're gonna talk about the mag. So the mag is TM, kind of TM spec, basically. It looks the part, different base plate between the high kappas, and has a TTI logo on it. As you can see, it's fairly beaten. I've dropped this.
That has flown. Ryan was running at full speed. That mag has been thrown on the ground. He has passed it to me by sliding it on the ground, and it still works. So kudos to Army Armament, right, for making a
reliable mag.
Fairly sturdy, reliable mag.
It's been
1 year?
Yeah, close to 1 year, definitely. We got this around April or May last year.
I don't remember.
Yeah, April or May last year. As you can see, still looks good besides the base plate. Overall, basic high kappa mag. Only difference is the base plate between the TM, WE, and whatnot. And I think you can get this kind of mags locally also.
Yeah, there's a lot of retailers here that sell the mag. And if you do, well, maybe we've been lucky with that, with our AA mags, right? But I remember this having a problem out of the box. So Adam asked me that if he was to do this, right? Uncock, and then he'll slide it in. It actually won't go in. He needs to cock it first, and then rack it in, right? But when I checked it, he was thinking that maybe the issue is the lower, right? But this mag actually had to be adjusted to push it a little bit in, or screw it in more, because this was actually hanging by 1 or 2 millimeters further back.
So yeah,
So we had to screw it in.
it protruded quite a bit. So that's why I was having issues before. But unfortunately enough, after tightening it down, it went okay. And up until now, no leaks.
No leaks.
No issues with feeding. Consistent with FPS. So yeah, very reliable mag in my box.
Yeah. So next is the replica itself, right? So I guess I have to talk about this because the first problems presented it's actually with my unit, right? If you remember. So if you do plan to get this replica, the first gripe we had was this one. The compensator. Is it a compensator? It is, right?
Yeah, a one-piece comp.
One-piece comp would actually flail around and cause noise and rattle around, right? The fix was to actually remove the entire assembly, and then maybe we'll show it later, right? And to tighten it down a bit more. But you have to have some sort of a vise in order to vise this, and then remove the small screw inside. It's not a screw, right? It's a
nut.
It's a nut inside, right? And you have to remove it. And then we applied Loctite, and then we had to fix it properly to the barrel. So this is, well, it's similar to a how you would thread a suppressor, but instead of having a thread on the outside,
it's on the inside.
It's on the inside, and then you have to you need to use that nut in order to secure it to the barrel. I guess this has been reviewed lots of times, right? So the other thing that why we bought this, right, is because of that CNC 7075 aluminum slide. For an aluminum slide, this is fairly cheap, but it doesn't seem to be that way. As far as I can remember, it's some sort of
a lower grade aluminum.
Yeah, lower grade aluminum.
There's a review out by Air 6 TV, where also they reviewed this unit, but they found out, or based on the research, it's a lower grade aluminum. Why did we have a conclusion with that? There were reports, or we've noticed when your gun or the replica
slide locks to the rear,
and then you disengage the slide catch.
Even if you power stroke it,
you can end up
denting
the slide, where the slide catch engages on the slide. If you can see,
there's a bit of a wear, but preemptively we already thought about, let's short stroke the thing. Let's just prevent it from happening. So the only downside, right, is we don't have a slide lock when
slide on
for the last
empty,
round.
Yeah. But it's a mod that I'm willing to do, since it adds a bit more faster cyclic rate, but you keep the longevity of the slide. I think there was a reported incident on the Discord group where someone
actually
stroked it and he shipped off
the entire
chunk on the slide. So
he managed to join the groove for the slide lock and the groove for the disassembly.
Yeah. So that was a major reason why we short stroke right out of the box, to avoid having issues.
Was it right out of the box? Maybe, we didn't use it at first because he was running a KJW. I was running my custom TM, and we liked those better. But initially.
But having said that, that's a necessary upgrade out of the box if you want to run this high kappa. And also, as pretty as it looks, the bronze. I'm not so sure what the kind of
Rose
coating.
gold.
Rose gold. Looks good, but later on, with usage, you're gonna scratch it and whatnot. So going over the replica from externally, you as I mentioned, this is a licensed product. You have the TTI um, logo in the front, also at the bottom of the frame. You can see here it's written.
TTI as well. Tarrant Tactical Innovations, and you have the model. Of course, it's a bit VIPER, and then where it's made. Yeah, and
And also on the right side, you have the model TTI logo here, and also
a
a
serial number, but it's not unique, right?
It's the same.
It's the same. Yeah, 59 PV.
More of a meh, but
Yeah.
again. So externally, you have the one-piece comp, a light and slide, aggressive serrations. Do note that from my observation, it was a bit,
Sharp at first.
yeah, you can get scratches. I think way back when this kinds of mods came up, they call this a DNA grabber, since you can get definitely scratch and your skin cells on it. To be honest, from the front you have a fiber optic front and then a blackout rear. Proprietary rear sight. It's not like the usual from
2011
the
high
high
kappa.
kappa, like
Yeah.
the Bomar or something like that. This is a proprietary. As you can see, there's a pin here where you can lift the
It's adjustable. I think for windage and maybe elevation.
Yeah.
Is
And
it?
That
I haven't tried adjusting mine because it was
skewed now.
yeah, we'll talk about it later.
But fortunately enough, my unit was not. I'm able to have good groupings. It hits well. um, Happy with the overall zeroed of the replica. And then the hammer. The hammer also is rose gold. Also steel, which is a nice touch. Ambi.
Controls, yeah. The typical
Very
typical
typical
high kappa.
high kappas, and also a good change from the normal high kappas. The beaver tail. This one has a lower actuation point for compared to out of the box high kappas. This one is very minimal, so to speak. I have at home my KJW KP06. That one you really need to grip it good so that you can engage the beaver tail. This one
Not so much.
not so much. And then also, a good thing with Armament, they really took the time to get the grip stippled. I'm not so sure if it's hand stippled or machine,
But
or
it
not.
does look hand stippled because from my replica, right, from my grip to Adam's grip, it's fairly different and it really looks handmade. Right? So it's not doesn't look like done by machine because there's to be honest, it's not very uniform.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, I might as well you can call it like a hand stippled, since yun nga, it's not that consistent. But overall, I'm happy with it. It's grippy. It's good in the hands, and also even the underside of the trigger guard is also stippled. And at the front, you have like the basic texturing. So with my unit, before comparing it with Ivan's unit, he has internally a maple leaf hop chamber inner barrel set on his. Mine was running stock, and then also I changed the inner barrel. Big issue with the inner barrel from my unit, that there was a inconsistency with the insides of the inner barrel. I'm not so sure if it's a chip on the coating or if it's not coated properly. I'm not so sure. But I changed it out to a stock AAP inner barrel, which is longer, but I replaced it again. But to be honest, using that kind of setup, it works, but since the inner barrel of the AAP is 129 or 128 millimeters, so it protrudes out the comp quite a bit. Plus side, you get a bit more range and a bit more juice on your FPS, but minimal to per se. But now, with my unit, I've replaced the hop chamber and the inner barrel, and also one key factor why I did that. I'll go over it on it right now. We're gonna disassemble the slide to the lower, push out. We're gonna talk about the lower first. So basic high kappa, the basic frame. Good thing with this version, steel sears, hammer, valve knocker. So the good things are already there. So no need to upgrade out of the box, which is good definitely. From the slide, you have a hammer pad, but from my observation, the hammer pad is not that robust. I'm not so sure if you can see that on camera. There are marks where it somewhat get deformed and cover the screw. So in time, probably I'll replace that. Maybe in the future we'll replace that. And then as you can see here, I have a custom guide rod. So why did I replace the custom? Why did I replace to a custom guide rod? Right off the box, it came with a one-piece guide rod. Issue with that, the spring and the short stroking might hinder you from disassembling the replica. Initially, me and Ivan here had troubles disassembling once we put in the buffers for the short stroke. That's why I prompted to replace it with a custom guide rod.
So that's his upgrades, right? So this is my lower. I guess I would also like to mention one of the things that I like with the VIPER is that extended
Mag
mag
release.
release. I have fairly small hands, right, and that really helps, right, for me to push that mag release. So that's one thing. For the slide, so why is my slide not here? So first is I also had to get a custom guide rod. Same issues as Adam. It's because we were running this short stroke, and it's really difficult to get that guide rod in, especially that this part compared to other high cap is fairly long. And another gripe of mine was when I look at the front side of my unit. I guess we could insert a picture here. Yeah, it's crooked. So there's no getting around that, but it is. So it's just crooked to the right, and I had to get a custom sight done for that one. I'm sure it's not TM spec or any. It's not compatible to any other front sight, so that's why I had to made it custom. Custom, yeah. So those are my two issues with mine, right? That's why I don't have it currently. But I guess from the upgrades that Adam did, right, was the TDC from Unicorn as well as that inner barrel. I didn't bother to change my Maple Leaf one because it performs and
Works quite well.
it's good, right? It's not a day and night difference for me, I guess. That's why I opted to just buy another replica.
But yeah, going over on it. So biggest gripe namin is the guide rod. So definitely a good upgrade path for ease of maintenance is having a two-piece guide rod where again as you can see, unscrew the half part and then shimmy out the other part and then voila. You
Oh,
can easily rip apart the replica.
I remember why we actually talked about having this made. So since you're having issues, right, trying to shove the entire guide rod in, so this part would fly to this one, right, to this front part of the slide, and while that hits, right, we've already told you earlier that this is a softer aluminum, and what happens is that gets deformed so bad that we had to actually sand out or
Yeah.
shave off some of that what they call it, deformed aluminum, just to get this part in. And just to avoid destroying the slide more, right, that's why we had to get a custom brass guide rod. So another thing that we had done, I'm not sure if Adam still has it, right, out of the box, this barrel is wobbly, very very wobbly.
The
So,
fitment between the inner and the
and
outer was
yeah.
very loose.
So Adam removed the mod, but I had mine fixed to the hop set.
So yeah, reason why I removed it. Again, I'm running a Unicorn Airsoft TDC hop chamber and also a Unicorn Airsoft inner barrel. Why did I remove it? As you can see, there's grub screws on the bottom and also on the left side of the hop chamber where you can fix it to the lower and adjust it where you can have a fixed position so that you can increase your accuracy and consistency with your replica. Since with stock hop chambers, it comes quite loose, and that's why your groupings is somewhat affected. But having a tighter fit between the lower and your hop chamber, you can increase your accuracy and your groupings. So that's why I removed it. So I think it's unnecessary now to do it, but if you want to, or if you're running stock, that's a good mod to do. But for me, having those scrub screws to lock it in the lower, I wouldn't need or I wouldn't benefit that much from it also.
So for me, well, I guess his point is valid, right? But even if I would upgrade to something that would lock my hop chamber to my frame, I'd still fix the outer barrel because it's really just noisy, right? And having that fixed outer barrel actually would help a bit when it comes to your consistency. Removing that rattling is a plus as well. So it's, I guess, it depends on you on how you want to build your high capper, right, or your pit viper. So while Adam is assembling the pit viper, right?
So by the way, a big shout out to Sir Punch
Punch
make-
Customs.
PK Customs for making us the guide rod. Fortunately, Evans here's unit is still with him.
The short stroking part is really just us nitpicking because we don't want our slides to be broken, right? But if you do want to have that functionality, that's that last slide lock. Last round slide lock, right? Well, you do have the option of not running a short stroke setup, or maybe you might want to use a lower charge gas, right? Just to save your slide. So other things that you might replace with your pit viper would be the nozzle and that all that the blowback housing. We have yet to test if a TM spec blowback unit, a lightweight TM spec blowback unit, would fit this pit viper. But from some reports on the internet, there seems to be a issue. Yeah, the basically the screw here is smaller than the TM spec blowback unit would allow, and it might lead you to having a rattly blowback unit. But when we do upgrade our Pit Vipers to lightweight units, we will definitely tell you how or if it will work, right? So when Adam was talking about the hammer pad earlier, my Pit Viper unfortunately is not as used as his. But the difference is, even if I don't use it that much, that hammer pad actually gets beaten quite a lot. Maybe an upgrade to a brass, no, na hammer pad would help. The blowback unit also, if you look at that, right, has a bit of a wear na as well. So you might want to, again, that's why we're looking into upgrading to lightweight blowback units in order just to help with that wear. Okay. The nozzle, again, is another thing that we need to check out if it's TM spec. But we tried a KJW nozzle here before. Fortunately, it does not work because basically it doesn't fit. Right? You might have to shave a bit of some plastic off the KJW nozzle. Yeah, we'll definitely try that out. So for me, the Pit Viper by Army Armament, right? It's a very good pistol. I think it's cheaper now. Maybe a bit cheaper, but for its price, right, or what they're for how it's built, you have that flared magwell, you have that stippled grip, you have those steel internals, which we didn't really replace it yet. We haven't opened this one up because there seems to be no issue with it. We haven't cleaned it as well for 1 year, so no maintenance on that lower, and it's still going great. But we'll do a disassembly of this one. We'll show you how good or bad it is. Hopefully, it's all good inside. The stock accuracy, well, for both of our units, it's actually a bit
Questionable.
It's a letdown. I'll say it straight. It's a bit of a letdown, right? Well, you're working with this is a replica, right? And it's made by Army Armament, which is not known for their accuracy. I don't hate Army Armament, it's just the way it is, right? It's cheap replica. But the slide, if you short stroke it, is okay. It leaves it will leave your slide okay, right? Rather than having this slide lock eat your slide up here. So yeah, so fairly good replica. The internals are solid. You might have to do some tinkering around just to get it to I don't want to say it, but parang to fairly good fairly good sidearm for your airsoft games. Adam.
For me, overall, well worth the price. Again, there's a few caveats like the hop, inconsistency, also yung compatibility might be an issue, but here in the Philippines, there are some stores or sellers that has Army Armament parts. So
actually, they have the talaga, yung pang Pit Viper, di ba?
Yeah,
Even with the
yeah,
rose gold color.
Even the rose gold hammer, we can get it locally. Even the nozzles. Not so sure if you can get the
blowback unit,
the blowback housing, but it's something that you can look into. But for me, could be a good upgrade. Pero it's quite a bit of a chunk of change.
Yeah.
Nasa around 3.5, 3K din yung blowback housings. You only get a faster cyclical rate, a bit more FPS boost depende din sa seal nung nozzle to your blowback unit and whatnot. Pero overall, I'm happy with it. Comparing it to my KJ, this one's a sports car compared to the Vios of a KJ, I might say. So overall naman, happy. But yun nga, I'm not so sure kung ano yung difference between this premium version, the one being sold locally, and also there's a standard version where
the standard version, iba yung cast.
Yeah, and different slides,
not steel
not
parts,
steel internals, and also the grip is not stippled.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Why didn't we get the EMG version instead? It's a whole new discussion. Pero
I
to
think
be
we can
short,
go with shortly, no.
since this is somewhat TM spec, being able to get parts also for it, and then yun nga, since Ivan here has quite some knowledge with tinkering around with TM, so we decided to get this one instead of the EMG version. And also, if you're somewhat nitpicky with the markings, this one has
The correct
closer,
yeah.
but dimensions wise, it's not. EMG also, there's a lot of reviews also on YouTube.
But the EMG is much more parang mas maraming kasalanan yun, you know.
Yeah, you can say
Like the magwell, the size, right? Ay, size is
also incorrect.
Incorrect, right?
Smaller,
It's smaller.
but this one's larger.
Yeah.
The correct one is the Gunsmith Bros,
So yeah,
but
it's crazy expensive here in the Philippines. So
around 15 to 18,000 for the slide and lower. But again, next best thing is the Armament Jag Precision Pit Viper.
yeah, and again to summarize this, and we'll end the video here, right? I'm happy with that one. Even if I I just have the lower, I'm happy because the trigger pull right out of the box, crazy, man. So no over travel whatsoever. They really did a good job with this trigger, and very crisp trigger. I guess we forgot to show that earlier, but yeah.
But being expected, it's a high kappa. It's no
Some high kappas are not good out of the box. They would have triggers that are sloppy, right? So
yeah, you can say, but this is not a custom trigger. It's a out of the box trigger, but it's a very, very good trigger out of the box.
that's what I'm saying. In comparison with, well, I don't wanna. Anyways, in comparison with the Challenger, this trigger is a bit better.
Yeah. This one's a bit better out of the. It's tuned right out of the box, naman. So, moving forward, we're gonna look into replacing the blowback housing. We will make a video on that if ever.
And we'll compare the Unicorn to the Maple Leaf to the
Master
mods. Yeah. So we'll do all of those stuff. This video is 30 minutes long already, and we don't want to keep you guys here. So once again, thank you for watching, and I hope you like and subscribe. Peace.